Pas de soleil, pas de soleil, pas de soleil.
Hi! I'm Mary, and if this is the first time you're watching, well, that's normal because this is the first video that will be up on my YouTube channel, which I didn't give a name for yet. Whatever I come up with, I hope it will be good. So, the first question is, why did you start this channel? I started this channel today because I decided that it was time for me to start speaking in English more. And the other reason is that I don't have that many friends in real life who are readers. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? I think that if I can bring another set of eyes, another set of opinion to this community, well, that's great. I plan on doing a lot of book related videos, but I have other interests that I think I'm going to try to sneak in eventually. Why do I love reading? I love reading mostly because I'm a big fan of storytelling. Whether it be in books, in music, in video games, in films, in series, they bring me a sentiment of joy. And fun fact about me, I was actually studying arts before I was studying HR. I just have that artistic mind, I think. I love to create. I love to see what other people create. I love to be surprised. I love to be just getting a glimpse of the imagination of someone else. So yeah, it's kind of a vague answer for why I love reading. I'd say that, like most people, I do it mostly as a form of escapism, but I also do it to just stimulate my brain, learning new words, learning new things, getting to know other people's perspectives. Those are some things that really make me interested in reading. What books or series got you into reading? I've always been reading. My mother is a huge reader. She could read like 3-4 books a week. When we were young, my mom always brought us to the library, and we had library cards, and we could go each week with her and borrow books. So I've always been reading. When I was first reading, the comic books that I was very into were Tintin, and there were the Smurfs, and there was Asterix and Obelix, and there was Lucky Luke. And I don't know if those have all been translated in English, but as a French reader, like, you can easily have access to those comic books, and those were the one that I liked the most. In middle school, the book that I was most into was his Dark Material series by Philip Pullman. My grandma offered me like the first book when it first was announced that there were going to be a movie with Daniel Craig. She offered me the book, and I read it like in a couple of days. And after that, when I went to the library with my mom, I got these 2 other books and read the complete series in like a few days. And then when I got into high school, my favorite book was The Count of Monte Cristo that I read for my French class. The Count of Monte Cristo is just an epic revenge story about that guy that gets duped by a bunch of people, and he's really like the guy who invented the quote, revenge is best served cold. Other than that, I read a few other books in high school that really like had an impact on me. Les Oubliés de Vulcain by Daniel Martiniga, L'arrivée des inactifs by Denis Côté. In high school, the other thing that happened is that I met my now long time best friend, who was coming from the big city with this new thing to teach me about, which was manga. She was talking about Naruto. I was just curious. When I got to the library and saw that they had the first volumes, I grabbed them, started reading them, and it was the end of me. That was it. I was in it. I read those like until the end. When I was in high school, Naruto was still airing. Like the comics were still getting out in the Shonen Jump every other week, and not every other week, every week there was a new chapter. And I remember me and my friend getting into the computer lab of our high school to read the new chapter when it came out on the lunch break. So yeah, I was really into that. And at my library, they had another series that me and my friend really liked, and it was Rurouni Kenshin. Sadly, Nobuhiro Watsuki has been... Sadly, he's a controversial author. He's done some pretty bad things. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you ever feel like reading this series. I still recommend it. I really like it. It's one of my favorites, but yeah, he's done some pretty shitty things. So if you want to know more about that, you should do some research. What challenges starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? I think that what's making me the most nervous is the language barrier. I hope that I'll be able to make my point come across. When did you start reading? I started reading when I was very young. I don't remember a period of my life when I was reading something. There are times in my life when I wasn't like reading a ton, but I've always been throughout my life reading some kind of medium, whether it be like comic books, mangas, or novels. Where do you read? Pretty much anywhere. Well, this year it has been mainly at home. I either listen to audiobooks when I'm doing random tasks around the house, or if I go shopping for food. Other than that, this is my favorite spot. 1 minute. Right here on the couch. This is my spot. Other than that, I'd say that I really do read a lot in bed before sleeping. Another spot that I really like to read is downstairs. I have an office, and I like to read there because when I'm in that room, I know that I'm there to be productive. So it really does help me to read. And in normal times, I'd be listening to audiobook when I commute. And other than that, in normal times too, I would be reading in cafes and in the library. But right now, it's me on my couch. What kind of books do you like to read? I like to read pretty much anything. I would read, like, I read nonfiction, I read fiction, I read comic books, I read novels. Like, I don't really mind the medium. So yeah, I read pretty much of anything, but that doesn't mean that I like everything that I read though. So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about the things that I like. I would love to know what are your answers to those questions down below. My goal for this channel is to upload every week. So I guess I'll be seeing you next week. Bye.